I'm not gonna lie lah. I don't know is it because of my persona online or is it because of my gender, but I do realize that sometimes people take him more seriously compared to me. It doesn't matter how many followers I have. I'm a small company and if something happens and I need to take legal action, I don't actually have that much backing to go against a big company.
Correct.
So this is where I'm gonna talk about the time that we got scammed.
Jang, jang,
Welcome to another episode of Men Explain, where we give our most unhinged selves, right, Avery?
I think unhinged is a perfect word for today because we've got two of the most unhinged people on TikTok.
And it's not us. It's these two sitting right here with us.
Oh my gosh. Welcome to the show, Dewy and Ryan. How are you guys feeling?
Yay. Great.
I'm so happy I'm back.
Okay, but we're going to dissect this because we know that we have a lot of differing opinions and also generational opinions, I would say, because entrepreneurs of different generations will have different views, I feel.
Yeah, and today we're going to be breaking down your businesses as Gen Zs and how you guys started a business and how it feels in the world of entrepreneurship as a child. Sorry, not child, as a Gen Z.
How old are you?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
29.
Doesn't matter, he's still a child inside.
Correct.
Right.
My mind is the mind of an 11-year-old. All right, so let's break it down first. How old are you guys?
How old do you think we are?
Just answer the damn question!
No, guess actually.
Actually, guess.
I'm gonna say 24.
Oh, this year, yes. But
Yes.
I'm still 23, the first.
So 24 lah.
Alright, 23.
You? 24.
No,
23.
I'm 20 this year.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
You're 20 this year?
04.
Oh my
2004.
God, I didn't realize
yeah.
that.
He's very young.
Yeah.
Wait, how do you guys then meet? Is it through the creator community
Yes.
or okay?
TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that we know your ages, how old were you guys when you all started your first business? We know that you guys did this thing called Afterlife for a while, right? Oh, why the laugh?
I
know
mean,
It's in the
Funny thing.
afterlife already.
I started, it was 2 years
He
ago,
was
right?
17.
I was
He wasn't
17.
even
You're not even
allowed-
legal.
Yeah, he wasn't even allowed to drink.
No, but like I couldn't even enter the club. I still remember because at that point of time, you know, when like everybody wanted to go party and everything, and I was like, oh, I also want to go. And then I realized, right, that like clubbing is damn expensive in Singapore.
It is.
Okay, especially like a 17-year-old, right? I was like, wow, paying like $40 to go in.
First
is
of all,
damn
17-year-olds are not supposed to club. So yeah, 17.
Yeah, I was 17.
So what made you guys want to do that?
Yeah, no, actually, I was the one that started the
Yeah.
idea.
Okay.
I think because it was after COVID, and then there was a rise in like just clubbing culture, and then a lot of organizers came on the scene. And then there was this one organizer, so he would invite a lot of creators to like events, and then like a lot of people would turn up to these events because there are creators going, and then we share about it, right? And I was looking at my friend, and I was like, wait, we can totally do this. We're the one bringing the crowd. I also want to do my own kinds of parties where we have like our own unique ideas, and we really build on the community building aspect of like a club. If you realize through all our events, right, we always have events or like activities throughout the party that will have people mingling, you know. So we want to have icebreakers or whatever.
So it's not just like go there, drink, and
It's very
Yeah.
boring,
that's it.
right? We want
Yeah,
to
yeah,
like
yeah.
amp it
Want
up a
some
little
stuff.
bit.
So I got this other guy to do it with me, this other creator. And then I was like, oh, I need someone to do PR for us, like someone to do marketing. And then that was Ryan. So my diploma was in events management. So I could do like the on-ground. And I like doing that, like the lights, the music, the sets and whatnot. And then the other guy was doing design. And then he was in charge of marketing and PR.
Finance, yeah.
Yeah, at that point of time.
So at that point of time, I was just like, okay, I like to make money, right? I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
So I was like, let's try to like get as many sponsors. It was our first ever event.
Yeah.
I told them that like I didn't want to like start with like a loss, right? So let's just try to find a way that we can get the money to secure the location,
start
to
really
get
strong.
you know,
Yeah.
so we are not loaning from anyone, you know, I don't want to go through any of that. So our first sponsor, I remember they came in clutch, they sponsored our first ever event. So all the money that we made from our first event throughout actually the whole entire Afterlife was reinvested back into the company. So
We'll just kind of let it roll.
So that's
Yeah.
how we started AIKO actually. The capital built from Afterlife was used to start up AIKO.
Wait,
So
so-
we actually started with zero.
Why the switch then? Because we noticed that
Because nightlife is
changed.
dying.
my life is dying.
you also think so.
We saw it coming. Like now, if you look at the news, oh no, nightlife
Like
is
Clarke Quay
dying.
is damn empty.
Clarke Quay is empty.
It's
Even
really
Holland
sad,
V,
yeah.
a lot of the pubs
And
and,
I think-
bars are empty.
If you look at the analytics of our events, right? Because after every event, like, I was just looking back into like the finance and everything. And I'm just like, wow, last time, right, we could like sell out an event like 500, 700 packs in like, 2 weeks? And then nearing like the start of like, 2 years, last year? Yeah, it was like very slow already. I was like, wait, what is going on?
I
And
think it's like when the post-COVID revenge partying died down.
yes, I think it was that.
Yeah, at one point, I think Aves and I were going out like 3 times a week.
Yep.
Wow.
It was-
That's
maybe
a lot.
twice,
eh?
maybe twice.
No, but I think it's different for us because Sons and I actually we met at work and then we became really close and we started partying together. And then COVID hit and we stopped.
Yeah.
Right, everything became super wholesome.
We
Like
just-
she became domesticated. She
Wow.
cooks soup for me. You know.
Oh yeah, I did that.
No, but then after that, when it started again and partying happened, that's when we were like, oh my god,
Yeah.
we missed this. You
The
know.
revenge spending.
Yeah. But this is coming from two millennials,
Yeah.
right? Were people at your parties, right? Were they Gen Z as well?
Yes,
Very much
mostly
so.
Gen Z.
Yeah.
Mostly Gen Z. So do you think it's because you guys were Gen Z creators, or do you think it's because you guys were Gen Z entrepreneurs that you guys drew a Gen Z crowd to the party scene?
Definitely Gen Z creators. I don't think anyone saw us as entrepreneurs
I
at
think
that
so
point
too.
of time. We were just
It's a bit of
organizers,
both,
you know?
Yeah. It's a bit of both because you also know what you guys like what your friends like. And that's what you were catering to, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Gen Z crowd and whatever was like trending at that point of time.
Yeah.
We really niche in on like Gen Z trends and like terms. So, like for example, our Halloween party was called Villain Era. And it's
Oh,
a
I
very
love
Gen
that.
Z
That's cute.
thing.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
Did everybody show up in like villain costumes?
Yeah, someone dressed up as a
like
dick,
alter
like an
ego.
inflatable dick. You know, like
we've
it's-
seen
we've
this
seen
guy.
that.
We've seen this guy.
Seen this guy.
Okay, so then segueing into your new business, how did that change then?
So like right now, I think ever since like the nightlife side, right, we were like, okay, it's not working, right? We gotta like pivot. And then the one thing that I realized very quickly was that a lot of brands out there want to get onto the TikTok app, right? But then they don't have a team of Gen Zs or like people who are actually using the app to actually understand the kind of landscape, that
yeah.
they're dealing with. So we realized that a lot of millennials want to reach out to the Gen Zs, but like they don't know how. So we were like, hey, TikTok is like our realm, man. Like I've been doing TikToks for like 5 years now. You know what I mean? Like it's changed so much, and like we've ride through that change. You know. So we were like, okay, you know what? Maybe we can be the middle ground to help these brands who wants to like grow to like reach out to like the Gen Zs and let us help them. You know. So I think that was what we started to think of, and then moving like a little bit deeper, we realized that like Gen Zs would be the next replacement market. A lot of brands right now don't look at the replacement market, which are the Gen Zs, which will eventually be the ones spending on their brand. You can focus on the ones that are spending right now, but you can't forget about the replacement market. Which
Like
are the Gen Zs.
awareness. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
just
know?
need to bring awareness.
Yeah.
You know, I feel the idea of entrepreneurship has changed so much from our parents' generation to our generation to their generation. In the past, it was always seen as, oh, it's very risky. It's very like, you gotta really be careful with what you do if you want to start a business. And then I think with the millennials, it was more of like, they were starting things like starting cafes. It changes, right?
Yeah.
And then the younger millennials started becoming a bit more like risk takers. They're like, okay, we can use social media to start. And then it comes to you guys.
I will say that it's a shift that even while you're talking about it, right? When we talk about like starting a business, right? The
Yeah.
first thing that comes to mind is how much capital do we have?
Oh, yeah,
Right?
yeah,
But you
like-
see the difference between the two of them was I'm not gonna have capital.
They don't
I'm gonna
need
find
anything.
sponsors
Yeah,
to pay for
exactly.
it. So it's always a difference in that risk. Yes,
Yeah.
it's a risk, but for us it's like we gotta have a certain amount to blow when they're like, we don't want to spend any money. And it worked for them,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So the perspective changed
Yeah.
actually over the years, I would say.
But do you think it's because you guys are Gen Zs or because you guys were creators that you guys thought maybe we've got a bit more leverage to do this?
Like realistically speaking, I think Afterlife at that point of time wasn't like our main thing, right? We all had our own social media careers before that. So in terms of risk, if any of us, and I think we said this before, like if we needed to pump in money, we know that we can. But like let's just try to not do that. You know what I mean?
But also at the same time, because you guys started so young, right? Do you think there was a time where people weren't really taking you seriously? They're like, oh, they're just doing it for fun.
the
How
deep
far is
side.
it gonna
All the time.
go?
Yeah, so the other day during we had like lunch together with the whole entire team, and then one of the representatives told us that like, hey, you know, before we sign y'all, right, actually we didn't really believe in like your agency because like you and Dewy are like, and the other partner was like the face of it, and then you guys look like just hee ha kids, and then we don't know whether to take y'all seriously to like represent our brand. Like it was quite what the hell lah. But at the end of the day, we made them so much money. So I'm just like, you know what? You can take that and shove it up your ass. You know, like,
I think a lot of other Gen Zs would actually feel the same way because I think age is a very big thing, especially in the community and the social structure that we live in Singapore. It's always going to be like, you know, oh, you're too young, you don't know what you're doing.
And I heard that a lot.
Right.
It's so often. And I think like a lot of people just and I still till today, like just finished a meeting, right? And then the person asked me, oh, so how old are you? And 9 out of 10 times I would never answer that question. Because I just know that once I do, right, they'll be like, oh, yeah, do they have the expertise to do this? But at the same time, you know, it's like we know our shit so well that like we know the space. You know what I mean? Like if you don't trust us, you can go to another agency. But I just know that you're gonna regret it because once you come back, it's gonna be a bit more expensive. You
Okay,
know what
but
I mean?
do you think it's wrong for people to think that like to look at the number of years of experience as something that they want to consider before hiring? Because I know sometimes when we talk, okay, how long have you been hosting?
That's fair.
10 years versus someone, 1 year. Then likely they might go for the person who has had more experience, right? So do you feel like the number of years of experience is extremely important?
I think it's slightly different. I think number of years of experience definitely matter. But I think the point that like I wanted to bring across here was that like they ask us how old we are. For example, like I started content creation since I was like taking my O levels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 5 years in. Like that's my experience. But just because I'm 20, it's a bit too young. But I still have 5 years of experience, you know. Like some other agencies have never got onto TikTok at all. Maybe last 1 year, 2 years, you know. So I think the number of experience do matter. But like when clients see us as like, we are too young in terms of like age, I think that's why I have a problem with. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Obviously, men explain. We're talking about gender as well. So when you guys are there, who's more front facing when you guys are meeting clients? You or...
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to be very honest about this.
Okay.
A lot of the times when we speak to clients, I always let Ryan take the lead. I like to be on the ground. I like to just do things behind the doors. Like just work with my team because I'm not going to lie. I don't know, is it because of my persona online or is it because of my gender? You know, I don't want to put it on anything. But I do realize that sometimes people take him more seriously compared to me. When they have something serious that they want to bring up to like the higher ups in AIKO, right? They go to him. Yeah, very rarely they come to me. Only if I've really talked to that person and I've built trust with them. So then to me, I'll just take a step back. Like, I'm okay to let him
But does that
client.
affect you?
Sometimes, but sometimes I will ask myself, is it because of my gender? Is it because of the persona that I have online? But I try not to blame those kind of things because those things are not things that I can change. But right now, I know I'm young. I'm a girl. Those are facts. But what I can do is to just be credible enough that people will respect me. Maybe in the future. This is what I'm trying to build right now. Because I am still young, you know.
And I see that like sometimes like the clients like will reach out to me and then Dewy is just like, you know, I texted the client already, but the client never replied me. But then I texted the client like 2 minutes instant reply. You know, then as a business partner, right, I gotta tell the client like, hey, Dewy texted you as well, and I think I would appreciate like if you could promptly reply her as well because we are the same. You know what I mean?
You're trying to make it work.
Yeah.
But is there a difference in the way that the two of you communicate? Like, what's your communication style with clients?
Very formal.
Individually?
Very formal.
We're both very formal.
Really? I cannot imagine something.
No. It's a difference. I mean,
For example.
Imagine I'm a client and you wanna
Like, hey, if we're just bumping on this, I just need a few things back from you, and then I'll list it on point form very clearly.
Okay, that sounds
Let
very
me know when
corporate,
I can get back to you. If you need a call, just let me know.
Period.
Like, I'm very, very
Let's
like
circle back.
Circle
Let's circle back. Corporate lingo, guys.
we're never like sister on the text.
Like,
you know?
hey sis.
No, we're not like that.
Yeah, no,
It's like, hi,
no.
good morning, good
No,
afternoon.
but that's good to know because sometimes people might have this preconceived notion of what they see on social media and think that that's what they're going to get.
I think because we're very loud personalities online,
Maybe.
right? But then at the same time, like people don't know that there's another side of us. You know, like sure, you know, like but there's what the hell, you know, like how do I say this?
You won't
I don't even know how to say this.
You won't know until you find out.
Yeah,
So
right?
I always say this, right? That as long as you have a personality online, the world thinks that they can have an opinion of who you are as a person based off that, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that.
always say that.
Hashtag deep.
Period. She said that to me just
Please.
No, but so I want to ask you as well,
Tell
right?
me.
Because
Do I know this person? Is this person
Your
my
friend.
podcast partner?
no, so I wanted to ask you, right? How old were you when you decided that you wanted to try and do something outside of radio in your own personal space, like entrepreneurship wise?
If you remember, I did do F&B for a little bit with a bunch of other partners. Like we ran a bar, izakaya style sort of place. And I was about 26 when we started talking about it. But it was a period of time where I was still building my brand because I didn't start as early as you guys. I started like when I was 21 into radio and into all this. And I'm not naturally a person that would be like, yes, I'm in front of the camera. Like that was not actually in my nature.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was more of like, I want to write and be a journalist, that kind of person.
I couldn't tell.
I'm not this, I never expected myself to do this. So I took a while to like build that, and we also were at a time where there was like no TikTok yet, it was only Instagram, right? And then at 26, there was an opportunity that presented itself. If it wasn't an opportunity that came by, maybe I would not have even taken it. You know what I mean?
I think opportunities.
Yeah.
Based off that, right? Let's say
Yeah.
you're looking at both this kind of entrepreneurship situations, right? As a millennial and as a Gen Z, do you guys see any similarities or is it a lot of differences?
I think it's quite similar in the sense that like when opportunity is given, right, that's where like a
You should take it.
You should take it.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Because
agree with
if
that.
we didn't have our first client, right, it's very hard to prove to our other clients that we actually know what we're doing. Until today, I'm still so grateful for our very first client, JBL, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
thanks for signing with us, you know? Because of that, right, we still use your account as like
Shout
In
out
your
to
resume.
Kevin.
Kevin, yeah. No, I
Yes.
think to like also circle back because a lot of people feel like it's very tough to be so young and create like an impression to like the older people, right? Wow, I don't want to say this, but like hi older people, just give these young people a chance because you never know, they could actually make more of a difference than like what your bubble,
think.
yeah, you know.
Does it make you more motivated to win over other people when you get treated in a sort of not so nice manner or when people doubt you? Does that give you more fuel and motivation?
Yeah, so circling back to the whole thing where
We're
I
using a
said-
lot of
yeah.
corporate
yeah.
lingo, circling
They
back.
use more corporate lingo than
Exactly.
us.
that.
My email literally says send by my iPhone.
Yeah, no, going back to the part where I talked about how I feel like I'm not taken seriously because I'm a girl and I have my online persona, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes I would like lie in bed and like ask myself, do they see me as a clown? You know,
No, Dewy, they don't.
like they just see a clown out loud and you know, it's not my fault, I'm funny. So yeah, I will literally have like identity crisis. I'll ask myself like, do I need to change who I am online so that they'll take AIKO seriously? So there's this like, I feel this conflict sometimes, right? Between like the Dewy Choo persona and the AIKO persona. Because people see me in offices and they're like, hey Dewy, you're actually normal. I'm like, yeah, then you think what? You think I'm just crazy?
This is normal.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
normal.
this is normal.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I've always wondered if I should just tone myself down. But then I realized like, no.
We had this conversation before,
Yeah.
right? We were like,
So what I want to work towards now, as I say, is to just like let my accomplishments speak for itself. You know?
Honestly, the best way to prove people wrong is through your own success. Like that's what I feel. You don't need to
Correct.
even say anything or like
they can just see for themselves.
yeah,
you
just
know?
see for
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah.
Ryan, you know, we all see this and online as well. You don't present yourself as a traditionally masculine man, right? It's very prevalent about that, and you are very open about that. Has clients or people in general ever turned away because of this thing, or they treated you a little bit differently because of that?
Definitely have. I think it goes both ways, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, if it is a beauty client, well, I think 90% I can close.
Easy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because like,
yeah.
I literally embody what.
Look
like,
at this face
you
card,
know,
please.
Sephora
Yeah.
Squad, I do beauty. That's my whole entire content. I'm doing it for 4 years now, right?
Yep.
But then if it comes to like more like those tech lifestyle kind, I find myself actually like dressing down.
Or like muting yourself.
Yeah, it sucks to say this, you know, but there was once I went into a meeting and then I had like one of my employees inside as well, right? The person didn't even look at me. The person just looked at like my employee, like talking to him as if like he runs the place and like he knows the deck.
Do you think it's because some people generally don't know what to say or they feel awkward? Are they of a different generation or different mindset?
It is
you know
an
what I
older
mean?
generation.
Right.
It's an
So
older
maybe they like don't
generation.
know how to approach or like
Yeah. I mean, it could be that. I don't want to like say like, oh, because of like I
Generalize,
wear
yeah.
makeup.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
maybe it could not, maybe they're scared. You know what I mean? I don't know. But it did kind of affect me a little bit because I was just like, wow, my son like, wow, become like a man, like, what's up, bro? You know, like, I mean,
cannot
obviously,
imagine
you know.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
sidetracking a little bit, this was quite recent. I overheard a conversation at another table of older generation, right?
Yeah.
And there was a guy that walked past that was like doing shoots. This guy was wearing like more of a feminine outfit with heels. And I overheard this other guy say, wow, guys wear heels now. Ah. The other one said, don't look.
Oh, wow.
So, I
It's
don't know.
Definitely
It's-
something.
yeah. So I think they're just awkward. Like they don't know how to react.
Yeah, they don't want to
Yeah.
make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But in turn, they actually
Making
me uncomfortable.
Exactly.
it's counter-effective.
So how would you navigate this?
I think for me, at the end of the day, right, like I gotta put my personal feelings aside if I want to grow the brand,
Right.
So if it makes the client more comfortable, and I know it sucks for me to say this because I gotta like dumb myself down, but like if that is what it takes to close the client and make them feel comfortable, that's what I would do. But I must say that I want AIKO to grow to the day where I don't have to do this anymore. Like if you want to come to me, you come to me. If not, I don't need your business. You know what I mean?
Fair.
I like the confidence here. Like, you know,
Yeah.
if you want to come to me, don't want. But what if people come through with like, hey guys, I think you could have done this better. Are you open to that kind of criticism?
1,000%.
You are.
Of course,
Okay.
of course. I think our agency grew quite a lot from the start. And thanks to our interns, our employees who really like, you know what, maybe y'all can do this differently. Maybe y'all can subscribe to this like HR plan. Whatever not, you know what I mean? Like and it really helped us with the whole entire ecosystem, you know.
Wow, so you guys are actually very, very much open to like
Change.
and
Yes.
criticism
Yes,
and everything.
I
1,000%.
always sit the team down and ask them like, what do y'all think can be done better?
Yeah,
That's
true.
really
Oh,
good
yeah,
because
yeah.
I feel that, not generalizing it as a generational thing or what, but I think I've definitely heard this before where people say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that also indicates that there's not much change or
Right,
progress.
right.
Yes.
But also like context is that like we are a smaller company. So
Yes.
we can do that. You know what I mean? Because I know
With
like
the
a lot of
flexibility.
bigger companies like, oh, because the higher management say already. But like in our company especially, like I think we want to make it very clear that like be it your intern, your employee, like we all share the same level in terms of like how we can improve the company together.
I
You
do
know
need
what
to
I
ask,
mean?
how many people are there in your company? 12?
12, 13.
Are they older than you guys or younger than you guys? Because-
Around our age.
so
our
around
age.
all the same age,
Yeah.
right? Because I was gonna say that if you guys hired somebody who is older, do
We
you
have
think
before.
was there an issue?
How much older though?
Yeah.
28, I
28.
think.
And did
Okay,
they
okay.
see it in a situation where, oh, you're younger, you don't know what you're talking about, even though you're my bosses?
Okay, so the employee was very nice,
Mm.
right? He was lovely to work with.
Amazing.
But I think when it comes down to like conflicts, when I have to tell him like, you can't do this, and when I'm very stern about it, right?
Mm.
Oh yeah.
I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie. I think it kind of like hurt his ego a little bit,
Mm.
knowing that someone so much younger is telling him that.
Correct.
And it never feels great, but it has to be done. And don't worry, I'm not an abusive boss. I'm always very like
No one thought you were, Dewy.
No, I just need to say
Okay,
it.
she's
you know
gotta
what I mean?
clarify.
I'm very constructive. I'm like, this is wrong. You do this, done. I'm not gonna call you names or whatever. You know what I mean? But then like I think he couldn't take it. And then I saw him broke down because of that. And I felt so bad for him. Yeah. And then he told me that like he want to go somewhere else to work. So I was like, you know
Right.
what? I'm happy for you.
What do you say is completely right? The way that you approach a situation, it's not about calling them names, it's how you say it, right?
Yeah.
Not that way where it's like, you don't do wrong, you know? Yeah. But
Is that your
No.
attempt?
Yeah, I'm
at,
trying to be her, like,
being- yeah, okay.
you get my
But it
point. You get
softens
my
it
point.
though. Instead of
Wait, you actually spoke to him like that?
Yeah, sometimes I'm like,
Sometimes.
girl, don't do that. No, but
Can you
because
imagine-
sometimes if I'm very serious, right?
Okay, wait, but I must just say, okay,
Yeah.
when Dewy is
When I'm too
fierce,
serious,
I,
right?
I get scared also.
A lot of them just
Okay.
cry.
No, that's true.
But then again, I also feel like it's the strawberry generation. And I can say that because I'm a Gen Z.
yeah, me too.
Really? Y'all need to stop crying, okay?
But like genuinely though,
Don't tell us how to feel!
Grow up! Just kidding.
So, you guys seem really close outside of work.
That's right.
Has this ever taken a toll on your friendship before? And what is the reality of doing a business together? I mean, I know that we're talking a lot about like your clients, dealing with them,
Mm.
the glamorous side of things, and almost tell us, what is the reality of things?
It's great. I love Ryan so much.
I
He's
love
my
you.
best friend.
But you have a
But-
fight?
No, we have our
We
fights.
have.
But it finishes in 1 hour. We settled it
Wow.
very
we
well.
don't carry on. I feel like
Yeah.
it's very
Don't hold grudges.
Just
very
formal
tiring
language.
lah. You want to go and bring on so long for what?
To assess the fight. And then we come up with solutions and then we conclusion.
Oh,
That's
wow.
it.
Give us one
How very strategic.
one example of a fight that you guys have had.
The Ergo Tune chair. Then I was asking him, I'm going to get Ergo Tune to sponsor us. Then I asked him, what color you want? Then
Okay.
he say he want red color. Okay, I love you, Ergo Tune. But I'm like, I'm not going to have 3 red color chairs just like spiraling in my damn office. So he got every other thing else for like our office, right? Like he got the water dispenser. He didn't run through me, but I'm like, get it, whatever.
I kind of did the whole random.
Was it also red, your water dispenser?
No, it was black. It was black.
Yeah, I let him choose all the colors and the things for office. Like I kind of trust him, but
Yeah.
because I'm getting the Ergo Tune chair, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make the decision to choose black chairs instead
Yeah.
because I just think it's easier on the eyes.
So y'all basically fought over the colours of the chairs.
Yeah. So then when the chairs came, right, he realized it was black. He
I was
was
like,
like,
where is my red
Dewy,
chair?
why didn't you tell me that it's gonna become black? I say, but you also didn't tell me that the water dispenser is gonna be the $80 dispenser. I thought we're getting the $3 dispenser from Shopee. You know what I mean? Then after that, it became a fight. He's like, why didn't you tell me? I should have been known. I'm like, but you didn't tell me other things too, and I let you have the executive
That's
position.
true though.
So y'all kind of just worked it out.
I want to share a bit more about how the company started with more than just both of us. I mean, as nice as you want to make it seem, right? Like, it's not all like happy, like this company damn smooth, because it really wasn't. Like, it was quite rough, I would say. Like, we started off with 3 different people when we first incorporated our company, and now it's just me and Dewy. And I think if like you're a young entrepreneur, right, and you're planning to like start something with like your friend, I think the most important thing is to have similar working styles, because I think a lot of conflicts will come up when you guys work very differently. So, like, you gotta know who you're working with, babes. Because even for us, right, we kind of didn't like each other when we first started.
Yeah, actually, I hated him.
Yeah, I didn't
we
like
hated each
Dewy
other
at
when we
all.
first started working. But I
Yeah.
saw his value and I knew he was a really smart guy. And I was like, I want this person on my team.
Right.
Yeah, and then we actually became best friends
Yeah.
through
Working
working
together.
together. So I want to debunk this, right? A lot of
Yeah.
people always say, "Oh, will you fight with your friends when
Or
you
like
guys
don't go
work?"
into business with your friend.
Yes, yes.
Don't
yes.
get money involved.
Believe in that. I just like to say that. I feel like
We're talking to
you
Dewy
just said
now.
you're gonna be posh, eh?
Yeah. She became British. She became British.
No, but didn't you just say that you guys didn't like each other?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but because of AIKO, we became so close.
So technically, you all didn't go into business as friends, what?
We were friends, but we weren't like close friends. You know, we were like frenemies.
It was like she's just there, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and then I was but then I started to like her.
No, but I just want to say that I don't believe that businesses breaks friendship. I feel like it shows you whether or not your friendship can actually
It's
tide
strong.
through hard times.
And some people, right, are better off as friends than business partners. I think that's what we realized.
Mm.
And especially when we had to like let go one of our business partners, right? I think it was not easy, definitely. We were at our old office. We all sat in the room together and we were like, so what is your vision for AIKO, you know? And then I think we sooner or later realized that like the other partner had like different plans, and we were like, okay, you know what? If we're gonna double down and put 110%, because we just moved to our new office, so we were like, it's just gonna be us then, you know. And then bye bye.
How did this person
And
take
that,
it?
yeah, I was going to ask you.
I think deep down he also kind of wanted to leave. So
Yeah, I think he wanted to pursue other things lah.
Mm.
I mean, no hard feelings. He just had other pursuits in life.
Are you
And we-
still friends?
I am happy for him and I want him to do well. But I have to be very honest and say that like the company really tested our friendship. And I've realized that like we don't align on a lot of things. But that's okay. He's still a great person. I think he's still talented in his own ways. He's happier now and I'm happy for him.
That's good.
So speaking of, we know friends and all that get involved into businesses. I'm sure you guys shared it with your families too.
my dad he's his own entrepreneur. Like he has his own business and whatever. Not he does events, like he does weddings. So when I told him, I think he was trying to relieve his like youth in me. You know, like I was like, oh, let me give you some advice. So it was very nice. And at the point of time when we were doing Afterlife as well, right? Like a lot of props or whatever not that we need, I could just like, hi, do you have like extra whatever not? So I really felt like there was like a backing, you know.
Yeah.
So my mom, like, she was really proud of me to just start something on my own. And when I told her that I was doing it with Dewy, because my mom loves Dewy, you know, so she was like, oh my god, let's, you know, can't wait to see where this is going. And I think like the point that they really was like, okay, this is like legit, was when we just moved into our recent office. They came and stopped by and they were like, wow, you're actually like doing it. And that was when I almost cried. I was like, wow, you know, like that validation from like my parents just felt like it was everything.
That's really sweet. What about you, Dewy?
I was doing social media and they're just like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm a creator. No, because my dad, I don't think he understands what I'm doing till now.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, what are you doing? So I tell him like, oh, 我是一个明星, meaning I'm like a superstar. That's it. Yeah, so I think he still thinks I'm like a superstar or whatever.
She went there. She went there.
Whatever.
Superstar.
Scam that guy.
So now that you own AIKO and you run AIKO and you explain this to him like, Dad, look, I run like a marketing agency and whatnot. Is he more receptive and is he more like, oh, I get that now?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest.
Yep.
I feel like I'm not at that stage where my parents will look at me and be like, that's Matsuara. You know what I mean? I feel like my parents set the standard for me at like the sky. I have to be on Forbes or something. Then my father will be like, oh,
Legitimize.
you own an agency. I thought you were unemployed.
So now they just still think that you're mixing.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's very normal for anyone in the media industry, right? I'm very lucky that my parents were in media also. So they were very supportive of like media because I had other friends and people whom I've dated before, right? You know, whose mom and dad didn't approve of them dating me because they're like, what's she doing in media? What do they even do? And this is
I heard that a lot,
this is
actually.
pre-TikTok, pre-Instagram, you know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like I'm still in school studying. They're like, what? Got future? What do they do? And that perception is already there.
Oh my god, the God future it's a
Exactly.
term I hear
So
all
it's
the
like
time.
until they see me on the poster or the bus stop
Exactly.
or the TV, then they're like,
Oh my
Yeah.
okay, she's doing something.
It's like that one, it's like that one.
As a small company, what are some things that you guys have experienced that you guys want to spill some tea maybe?
Okay,
young,
have.
young
I
entrepreneurs.
think because like I do a lot of the pitching, right, to a lot of clients. So I
Bitching?
pitching.
Oh, pitching.
the bitching is
Hey, I
Dewy.
tell you, No, a lot of them, right? They were like, I guess are quite new. Maybe your retainer package, you give us, I can give us free lah. You give me 3 video free, okay? Then after that, I will ask my friend sign with you also. Trust me, the friend doesn't exist, okay? Then like or maybe too expensive. Like, you're 2 year old only, you can charge so high, man. Lower for me, okay? The thing is like, if we say okay, right, we're just devaluing ourselves. And the thing is like, we need to pay people, you know. So I just feel because we are young, they just feel like they can just okay lah. Young, take advantage of them.
Because
and
they're
I hate
seeing
that.
it as that we are giving you a chance. That's
Yeah.
the thing, yeah. They feel like you need them more than they need you.
Correct. But like they need the help. Look at the social media. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, no, and then also right, because me and Dewy are creators, right? A lot of them will be like, okay, we sign with you, Then inside the video, you and Dewy be inside, okay? And it's like free,
you post
free.
all your. They ask us to post on our account, but the thing is that we charge for that.
That's different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is not fair to
right.
my other clients who
Yeah.
actually pay good money for me to produce videos for them.
Exactly.
And then they want to load our face some more. Wow, that one.
Maybe you can try, but you'll never win. You know, like girl.
What is something that has happened with AIKO,
Mm.
right? Or maybe as young entrepreneurs, right? That's gonna like blow our minds.
I think this thing happened to us and it made me realize that it doesn't matter how many followers I have. I'm a small company and
Humble.
and if something happens and I need to take legal action, I don't actually have that much backing to go against a big company.
Correct.
So this is where I'm going to talk about the time that we got scammed.
Jang, jang,
So Afterlife is under AIKO. And before Afterlife was gone, AIKO was already running. So we
Right.
actually did an event for a client with the Afterlife name. So we actually
Yes.
brought in our organic customers. It was a nightlife event. So the practice is every time after a night, what the club would do, the manager, he will like run out the receipt from the cash register to show you all the transactions from the night. So we know exactly what's our commission. Because as organizers, we do take a commission
Of all the alcohol sold.
for the
Yes.
sales
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the night. So this company, right, this sucky ass company,
Angry.
this event, right, was fully packed.
We sold out so quick. People were lining up at the lift trying to get in.
Correct.
Okay, we were full.
Correct, right? And then my manager, he closed a lot of tables because he's a very buddy guy.
Yeah, he's them good.
He closed a lot of tables and a lot of those table openers were like his friends. And then we were like, okay, it's a great night. Can't wait to see how much we've made. And then at the end of the night, right, when my manager asked him, oh, can you draw out the receipt or the transaction list? They were like, no, we can't do that. We can't do that.
Yeah.
And we were like, so it's so strange because let me tell you, even Siam deals, right, can have the decency to draw out
Print
that
out
receipt
everything.
for
Yeah.
me to show me like, okay, Dewy, this is how much you make. This is your commission. Got it? Okay, then we go home and settle finance. And then we were like, it's very strange why he don't want to draw out the sales check. And then after that, the day after, right, he told us,
Oh my god, he texted us. He texted us saying that like,
oh, so you're so angry.
I know, I can tell. I'm catching it from you. I'm catching it
Oh
from
my
you.
god,
So-
Avery is scared. Avery is
So
scared.
the next day, right? 'Cause, okay, so context is that for every event, right, our commissions would be around like 4 to 5 digits, correct?
5 digits. Our events always do 5 digits in sales.
Always five.
motherfucker.
Always.
Always.
Okay, you should be humble a bit, okay?
I'm humble. I got scammed.
Okay. So when we receive, do you know how much the person put? So the person sent us a text. He'll be like, oh, your total night close, all the bottles sold and all the drinks is $4,339.
Which is like 50% of what you would usually.
No, like
Less.
20%, girl.
20%.
And I was... And it was a fully packed event, so it didn't make sense at all.
Wait,
Yeah,
alcohol is so expensive, right? Let's be real. And then I was like, okay, if it's 4K, can you show me the proof?
The
like,
total.
Each
Breakdown
table,
lah.
one table alone, right,
Yeah.
can be up to
Yeah.
like 4 or 5K
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
like
You know
what
what
on
I
earth
mean?
did they order?
correct. It's
Water.
just a
Martini.
simple press a button, give me the transaction. If
Right.
it's 4K, fine, whatever. I'll just
Yeah.
take my commissions off
Yeah.
of that. But he don't want to
Don't
show
want.
me. So I know he's playing this stupid ass game. And then I had to tell him, like, you cannot do this to us.
Yeah.
Okay? I was like, I can speak to your
I'll
superior.
call my lawyer. Then you call him.
No, but
We
that's
got
the
no
thing.
money for a liar. We're so small.
But then she called me and then I'm like, wow, what to do? No, so we tried to threaten. We will call the police. I wasn't gonna call the police, but like I was like,
Yeah.
it was so tough because like we couldn't defend ourselves. You know what I mean? Like even if you wanted to, right? Wow, lawyer fees over like the commission cut is like not worth it if the lawyer's gonna be so expensive.
Correct.
Doesn't
No,
make
but
sense.
after you go for the situation, if you win the case, they will pay for your lawyer fees.
If
See,
you
we
win.
we do not know that.
But that's the thing, we were so small that we cannot even
So now,
take
till
that
this day, y'all
risk.
still haven't got back the money.
So there's no resolution.
No.
I talked to the boss and then the boss was like, okay, if you're not happy with it, then you can proceed with like what's it
Oh
called,
my
filing a
gosh.
lawyer's letter. And then I was just like, huh? Then now what do I do? You know, like I already tried to threaten and everything, and then it's like, okay, you want it, you go, lor. Then I'm like,
That's
where
the
do I go
thing.
now?
And
you know?
they have the money to drag it
They-
out.
no, they
but
have a
we
lot
don't.
of money. Yeah.
You know, 10K, 20K is a lot
So-
to a small company.
Yeah.
If I was in your position, wouldn't you use your position as influencers and as people to
Right.
do that and be like, look, we've been scammed. Did you
Right,
guys
so
think of that?
We did think
We
of that.
we did.
But we don't want to portray us as influencers that will air the
that,
dirty
yeah.
laundries of like our clients.
It will link back to our brand as a whole. Like if
Correct.
any new brand will be
You
like,
know.
wow, later I work with them, they don't like me, then I'll make non.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
I
a
think
very
as of now,
bad look for us.
Honestly, the netizens and people already think that if we have any sort of influence online, or
They're very like
they're already
arrogant,
like,
you know.
so y'all only get this kind of treatment cause you're like that lah, or cause y'all
Yeah.
complain then people like attend to you.
Correct.
I get what you mean.
And
I
also
get what you
because
mean.
like, can you imagine how like crazy it will sound that we say that like, oh, we didn't get this part of money, and it's like not small money, it's a lot of money,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
hey, I didn't get like 5-digit commission. Like they're gonna be like, what the hell?
Yeah,
you know
but-
what I mean?
yeah.
It wouldn't like
I
resonate
understand
with
where
It's
you're
still
coming.
not
It's-
right.
It's a tough,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
tough situation to be in. But like, I don't know how
If
to
there are
navigate,
any
man.
lawyers tuning in right now, please advise them what to do because it's never too late to turn it around.
Dewey, will you still want to pursue this situation?
The guy got fired, by the way.
Yeah, that's the thing also. It's been so
Shit.
long.
How long
How
has it
we
been?
gonna-
A year?
1.5 years, I think.
Yeah,
If
it's
I'm
been
not
a
wrong-
while
It's never
already.
too long to reopen,
No,
okay?
if
A
I'm
grudge can be held forever.
Do y'all think that kind of like set y'all back and y'all were like, this is such a terrible situation, like we're gonna give up? Or was it like,
No.
you know what?
We were so
No.
angry, we were like, let's make more money.
Yeah, don't go down without a fight, my friends.
Yeah.
Mm.
Guys, thank you so much. That was so much fun. Okay, before you leave though, since I'm sure a lot of other young entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs look up to you and other Gen Z entrepreneurs, what do you have to say to them?
Actually, just do it. Like, don't have to think that like you must like have like a large amount of capital, because actually, right, you can work around that. For example, like you start a party, right, you can collect the money first. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You ask
Sell
them,
the tickets first.
sell the tickets first, collect the money, then we use it to cover the cost of the rental, and then we just tell the vendor, hey, maybe I pay you after the event. You know, like there's
Correct.
always ways to like, you don't need to like fork out so much money at the start. So don't be afraid by that. Just try, because you never know where it will go. If you fail, right, I always tell myself, I'm so young, at least I tried. Because
Yeah.
if I'm older, right, I have no time to try this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So just try, YOLO, man. Do it.
I also tell a lot of clients that are launching a new product, right? Is before you even actually launch it, right, and sell it on whatever store you're selling it on, you can already do the marketing, like make content about it, see if you actually have a crowd for it. Once you feel like, okay, you have the crowd for it, you have like 1,000 followers or 500 followers, people ready to buy your product and receive it, then you sell it, right? The win is more guaranteed that way. Yeah, or you can do pre-order. So there's a few ways to go about
So
it.
crowd
lah.
testing.
Correct. Yeah. So I also feel like, especially when you're young, right? Just do it. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain. That's what I always tell myself. Like, I don't have a family. I might not be able to have this freedom when I'm in my 30s,
You have
when
no
I'm a
burdens
mom.
for now, yeah.
Correct,
Or
correct.
responsibilities.
So just do it. You're gonna learn so much about yourself, and it'll be so fun. Yeah, and be consistent. Don't just give up.
Don't give up. Yeah.
You need to be
It's gonna get
consistent.
tough. It's gonna get
Yeah,
damn
there are
tough.
some days where you ask yourself, why the hell you start your company? Like me, every day when I walk into my office and I ask myself, why I have this overhead so expensive and my black ergo tune chair that I love so much.
Okay.
and the $80 water dispenser.
That Ryan loves so much.
That I love so much, okay?
Oh gosh.
Alright, you're gonna get there someday because we are still getting there too.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here with us today on another episode of Men Explain. And if you're watching at home, thank you as well. Please make sure to follow us on all our socials, on Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube as well at itsclarity.co.
That's right. If you're tuning into us from wherever it is and listening to us yap and be super unhinged, that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Me Listen. So we'll catch you again next time. Bye. Bye.
I love my hair.
Stop stroking your hair, Aves.
And now end dry because I just finished BJJ. Then I just
Use
never
some leave-in
conditioner.
conditioner or
No,
something.
I never bring my oil.
Don't 不要再 oil 了
Okay, what's here?
Okay.
Scolding,
Sorry.
scolding.
This is the management style.